Hello, namaste. This is a reading for Jupiter in Gemini and Gemini season 2024. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm using the Book of Shadows Tarot, which has 2 complete tarot decks, as above and so below. So in honor of Gemini season, I will be pulling from both, as above, so below. Ooh, and right away, we have fire popping out. And I love this card. It's just so enigmatic and yet creative. I really love that sun energy, that solar energy that it has, sort of shooting these planets out of it. It to me speaks of the creative nature of Gemini and the multiplicity of identities and thoughts that Gemini holds within it. So that was the Ace of Fire card. Then we have 0, the Summerlands, which represents the Fool in tarot. The Fool is the beginning of a journey, starting out on a new path. So this is something, some new passion with the Ace of Fire, the Ace of Wands. That's some new passion that we're just gestating. We're just getting ready to create or just starting to create. And the Fool is going out on that journey, ready for the adventure, manifesting what comes next, not sure what comes next, but sort of co-creating with the universe. Then we have the Maiden of Earth, which in this deck is, I believe it's the Page of Earth. Let me verify that. Again, with the first spark of information. So the Maiden of Fire actually is the Knight of Fire. So that's charging ahead with this new adventure. So the universe is not giving us any doubt that whether or not we should continue on this passion project, follow this spark of inspiration and creativity and joy. It's saying, go for it. Then we have 8 of Air. This 8 of Air follows from the Fool card. And this is a meditative state. We see the chakra system lit up within this person sitting in lotus pose within a lotus, surrounded by these fairy beings or angelic beings. And to me, this represents centering and grounding in our path. So while we are encouraged to take steps forward, we're also being reminded to think, to pause and align and reflect, right? Air is thinking. That's a very Gemini thing to do, right? Be in the head with the air sign. So, here this person is meditating on what is the best course of action or what is aligning them to their higher selves, right? So I'm also drawn to the fact that there's this moon up here, but the moon is like slightly hidden, right? That doesn't mean that as we sit in this state that all is revealed and that we will know every piece of it. Some pieces of it may be shrouded from us, may be concealed or hidden. But that's okay. That's not for us to know. We can't know everything, but we can know ourselves. And we don't want to be stuck in this meditative state. We don't want to be trapped in this, turn it into a cage. We want to let it help us bloom and grow, right? It's like if we are thinking about or worrying about things, you know, it's not that we want to shut down and shame ourselves for worrying, but rather we can take that worry as information. Okay, maybe I should look into that more. Maybe I should think about this from a different perspective. Maybe I could find something I hadn't noticed before. So it's something to take note of, but it's not something to let us become trapped by. Then we have the Six of Air. And the Six of Air, to me, has a bit of a mixed message. There's, on the one hand, there's the message of having a audience, having a sort of a group of people or students watching us, right? We may be teaching them, they may be teaching us, right? Usually I find, again, we are co-creating. And there's the familiar there. There's this idea of like deepening our connection with our animal helpers, whether that's real animals that you know in your life, or you know, animals like spirit animals, which I'm a big fan of. So this is like about being in touch with nature beings and allowing that connection to guide us and to allow ourselves to be guided by it and to honor that connection. Then we have the Five of Air. And the Five of Air is showing this palm reading. So this palm, to me, is showing, you know, we all have our own path. We all have our own sort of identity in our hands. Our destiny is in our hands, is what I'm hearing. And so when we have the Five of Air, it's saying that we need to honor our uniqueness, honor our strength and power, and our ability to sort of take our ideas and manifest them. Let me pull a few more cards here. So coming down the path from the Fool and the Eight of Air, we have, this is the Fool, and here's the Eight of Air. So coming down from those two, below those two, coming out of that path, we have the Four of Air and the Four of Fire. And 4 is an angel number of stability. And I really see that in these two cards in two different ways, right? In the air sign, it's more of this community flitting about, flying creatures, right? This walking a path. I see this eclipse in the background. It's almost like the path began at the eclipse, right? And we're using it to manifest into our strongest self. And so the Four of Fire has more of a strong and powerful stance, right? This person knows who they are, is willing to stand in their power, is willing to charge ahead, and has, again, their animal helpers with them, sort of on their team, following along in the same path. Then on the other side, we have a much more feminine expression of this. We have Ostara, which is the Celtic goddess of Easter, and she's pouring this like rainbow liquid onto her little bowl of goodies, and she has a little bunny rabbit in her head, her flower crown, and she's in this beautiful flowing dress, and I really just get the sense of abundance and nurturing from her. So to me, Ostara would be associated with the star card in the major arcana. That's a wish card. And the Mother of Earth, which is this Queen of Earth energy. The Queen of Earth I love because, you know, coming just out of Taurus season, we are really in this Queen of Earth energy, this energy of receiving the abundance that the earth has to offer, this energy of, you know, I don't have any, you know, physical worries, right? We are okay. It's reminding us that we are okay. And if we're not feeling okay, we can remind ourselves that there is this part of it. Like every single one of us has this Mother of Earth energy inside of us, right? We can all tap back into that part of us, that abundant part of us, the part of us that is okay. Sometimes when I'm really feeling stressed out and overwhelmed, sometimes I have to actually out loud tell myself, I'm okay. I am safe. I am safe and I am okay, right? And I tell myself over and over again until I really feel it, you know? And that really helps to ground me into this Mother of Earth energy, right? I'm sitting there nurturing myself, reminding myself that I've got this, right? Sometimes our nervous systems like to play tricks on us, that we have this sort of danger around us all the time, that, you know, just because we got that one email and that person said something that we're not quite sure what they meant, then all of a sudden our brain goes into panic mode like it's a threat. You know, like our lives are in mortal danger. But I'm okay. It's okay. I'm safe. You know, and reminding myself that when I can get a little triggered here and there, really helps to stabilize the energy. So I think what I'm seeing here, to summarize this as above part of our reading, is I'm just tapping into the energy here. I don't want to rush into it. I think that's the energy that I'm getting. It's again going back to this Fool card. We don't want to rush into anything, right? We want to pause and think first, right? We don't want to be trapped by our thoughts, but we want to pause and think. And our animal spirits, nature beings, trees, you know, this is a great time of year to be getting outside, really just bathing ourselves in nature. And so really just, that is such a centering experience, and that can get us out of this maybe mental trap that we can get ourselves into, and out of this, while I'm a big fan of meditation, sometimes we can get too in our heads. Sometimes we can get, if all we did was meditate all the time, we wouldn't be doing anything in the world. We wouldn't be out there creating, co-creating, manifesting, connecting, right? We would just be in our heads constantly. So let nature help us out of that getting stuck in our heads energy and into our embracing our uniqueness, taking our power back into our hands, co-creating with the universe, and bringing about these beautiful, abundant energies, and really harnessing that inner strength and the connection with nature to do so, right? We don't want to be rushing down any paths that could be dangerous. We want to be shifting through the guidance of nature into a more, you know, fruitful and relaxed and enjoyable state of being. So here we have, at the top of the deck, we have 10 of air, which is the 10 of swords energy, which can be about sort of a lot of information, right? Sometimes overthinking and overanalyzing. But if, again, we see these nature beings in this tarot reading, which I love. What a meta moment, right? Here I am reading a tarot card, looking at a girl reading a tarot card with herself, reading a tarot card in that card. Yeah, and even that little card in that card has her in it. So we can, that shows how we can get so tunnel vision in our heads that we just get down to this, we feel so small from our thinking, you know. And if we can tap back into these nature beings, they're saying, hey, look out here, look at us. You know, we don't have to be trapped by our own thinking, right? And then as long as we're looking outward and not being trapped within, that doesn't mean be unaware of what's happening within, but just, you know, coming out of our own heads a little bit, we get to this elemental of earth, which means we're manifesting a more relaxed identity. We're creating something new. We're beginning a new journey in this physical realm and creating some beautiful things. Like here he is playing music. There's beautiful crystals around him and beautiful flowers. And he's just relaxing. You know, it doesn't have to be all this stress and worry to get to receive the beauty and abundance of the universe. All it takes is connecting with ourselves, connecting with nature, looking outside of ourselves and honoring ourselves in that process. And we can really charge ahead with this new venture, this new adventure that we are stepping into. So that concludes the as above portion of the reading. And then I will now switch to so below. Thank you so much for watching and for being with me. If you've watched this far, please don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things. Really appreciate it. This is just a baby channel and trying to help it grow. So anything like that you could do, put a little comment, just a little emoji or, you know, something if this helped you out. I really appreciate it. And here we go. So below. Jupiter in Gemini, Gemini season, most benevolent outcome for the highest good of all. Nope, still shuffling. Wow. Okay, I'm really excited for this one. Okay, so for the last one, I pulled one card at a time, but this one I was really guided to just lay the cards on the table and, you know, see what came out. So we'll start at the beginning with the Six of Chalices. This is a childlike energy. It's a little bit nostalgia. It's playful. It's fun. This is about sort of remembering to play. Yeah, remembering to have fun, you know, not to get stuck in the past, right? Because here we go to the Five of Chalices. If we get too stuck in the past, we can start feeling sorry for ourselves, wondering why, getting to a place of poor me, right? And that's not going to get us anywhere. That's not going to get us where we want to be, for sure. But the Queen of Swords, I love this depiction of the Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords is very honest, right? The Queen of Swords is sometimes brutally honest, and she's tends to be depicted sitting alone with her sword, like looking very, like, not menacing, but very determined, right? And here she is connecting with another person, right? Maybe this is a job interview. Maybe these are friends making a plan together. But the Queen of Swords has ideas, right? She's got thoughts and opinions and knows her own mind, knows her own perspective. And I mean, just look at the contrast between these two, right? We can be either feeling sorry for ourselves and languishing on the couch, or we can go out and connect with people and use our words for power, you know, for our own empowerment and the empowerment of others. You know, it doesn't have to be either or. That's such a Gemini message. That's such a, you know, Queen of Swords with two figures in the card. You know, that's, you know, sharing our message can be empowering to ourselves and to others. What a great reading. Okay. Then we have, in the middle, we have spell casting, which I'm going to look up this card because it's not a typical, it's not the typical tarot names. It's number 8 in the major arcana. So let's see. So this is the Strength card in the middle of the reading, and it's called spell casting. I love that. So it's taking this sort of darker, lower energy and transmuting it into something beautiful and bright and powerful, right? And she's doing that through the vessel of her being, through herself, right? So this is, again, about sharing your message. It's about transmuting whatever, you know, our base nature, our you know, more animalistic nature, right? In the traditional Strength card, it's a woman sort of gently bent over a roaring lion, right? And it's about taming that wild, beastly energy that we all have within us, and sort of not taming it through you know, punishment or discipline, but through compassion and connection, right? And that's how we tame our own inner lion, right? And our own, and we really can bring out of our pain and suffering, of our, you know, more base nature, something beautiful as we lift it and channel it and intentionally work with it to transform and transmute it. Then coming down from the Five of Chalices, down the path of the Five of Chalices, we get to the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is a card of overwork, right? So here we are feeling sorry for ourselves. Oh, nothing goes my way. Nothing, you know, why me? Nothing works out. And here, then we overwork ourselves. Well, I have to I have to just put my nose to the grindstone and just force myself to follow the rules, to give up myself to, you know, whatever system or structure that is not authentic to me. And, you know, it's this overloaded energy. It's this, in the traditional tarot and the Rider-Waite, there's a, Rider-Waite-Smith, there's like a person who's carrying all these 10 wands on their back, just, you know, overloaded by this burden. You know, this is the person, clearly they worked overtime, right? They're coming home late at night. You know, they have to shine their phone light on to even see the key to get into the door. They, you know, it's that dark out there, you know, and they still have work to do in their bag. It's sort of how I'm seeing those little creatures, you know, and there's still things sort of creeping up behind them, right? There's all these worries and, you know, too much of a burden happening. But on the other side, we come to, you know, from the Queen of Swords, we get to the Five of Swords. And this is a victory card, right? But there's a victory, but there's also a dissatisfaction, right? Like, we don't want to go into this competitive mode where we're tearing others down, but we can have our victory and help others along with us, right? Lift others up with us. And that can happen through spell casting, right? Through transmuting that competitive, you know, me or them sort of mentality into something more uplifting. Then at the bottom of this path with the chalices, with this overwork and worry, right? This victim mindset, we have the devil, which is overindulgence, right? Because then we work too hard, we're too stressed out. We are like, I'm so miserable, I'm just gonna turn to my vices, whether it's ice cream, whether it's drinking, whether it's, you know, whatever vices you have. You know, and it's saying the Hanged Man, right? Turn that on its head. Turn that perspective around and you can free yourself from that trap, right? From the devil's snare, I'm hearing. Then from this victory card here, this transmuting conflict into, you know, or competition into community or into co-creation and co-empowerment, we get the Knight of Swords, which is, you know, I'm seeing as, you know, you may not get it right the first time, you may not get it right every time, but you have multiple chances. You know, nobody's perfect. We can write a rough draft and start again, right? Even if the first time we don't get it exactly right, we can write a rough draft and start again, which I might do with this video. We'll see. And the Stars, right? Which is again back to that playfulness energy. It's about envisioning this dream life that you want, right? If you want the kids and the dog and the flying in the sun, like that's an option. Or if you want to be, you know, the ones playing in the pool and, you know, connecting with nature beings, like that's another option. The point is that these wishes can be fulfilled, right? And it's through this hopeful connecting and communicating with others. That's how we transmute this energy. So I hope that was helpful. You know, just a few notes about Jupiter and Gemini, sort of intuitively, is that, you know, this is going to be a time of a lot of communication, a lot of, you know, we can become overwhelmed by it, by, you know, all the comings and goings and the, you know, this and that and feel a little scattered and overwhelmed. But if we are intentional with our communication, if we pause and reflect, if we are willing to change our perspectives and free ourselves from this devil's snare, we can really get to a place, if we, you know, we work at it. I'm not saying don't work at all, right? I'm not saying, but don't overwork, right? Then we can manifest this dream life, this, you know, really fun and playful way of being. And let's see. Yeah, we just don't want to let ourselves be overwhelmed by the options. We want to really connect, because I'm looking again over here at the top and bottom of the deck. I've got the Seven of Chalices at the bottom of the deck, which is like considering all your options. And it's okay to be here for a little while, to envision yourself here, you know, or over there. What would it be like if I went in this direction, as long as we don't get stuck there and we follow our intuition, right? We let nature help to guide us, let our higher self, which is aligned with our true nature and with all of nature, right? With God, the divine, which is all one thing, you know, that we let that part of us guide us. You know, we don't get bogged down in the choices. We really align with ourselves and follow what makes us feel the most passionate, going back to that Ace of Fire from the previous reading. So I hope this reading helped you. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna post it and see what happens. I feel like I may have stumbled and mumbled here and there, but you know, no one's perfect, and I'm just gonna keep at it, keep communicating, keep putting my message out there, and not overthink it, right? Not overwork it. And I hope you do the same. Blessings to you and yours. Thank you for watching.